There are many different types of crowns today in 1984, and here's an example of some of the work that I've done. The silver filling in the back has been in the patient's mouth since 1986, and truly you would like to do everything you possibly can not to have a crown. Silver filling can often be polished and taken care of nicely, and it works out just fine. When we look at the crown preparation on this one top-on tooth, we actually left a lot more tooth structure and didn't remove as much on the gum line in the back. And then also completely around circumferentially, we removed only about half of a millimeter to a millimeter in different portions. And the patient's filling is broken, it had a crack in the tooth, and we went ahead and did this top-on tooth. You can also see near the front area there, the root of the tooth or the front of the tooth is also exposed more. And the tooth next to it, though, is a crown that I did in 1994. So the crown's lasted 20 years. It looks really nice, but we had to go around the tooth circumferentially significantly more in terms of saving the tooth and having enough thickness so that the porcelain wouldn't break. These days, with the stronger materials, lithium disilicate in this case, we were able to do a crown without having to remove quite as much tooth, which is a real advantage on a small tooth like this, because as you remove tooth, there's just not so much left to keep the tooth in place. The crown sometimes can fall off. This is a try-in portion of it. We haven't quite cemented it yet, and we will go ahead and get a real close-up of the preparation here in just a minute. So you can see the back end of the tooth there that's a little bit gray, and that's from the original silver filling that made that grayness. The tooth is completely hard and there's no decay underneath it. Now we're concerned mostly about trying to match the front of the tooth because that's what everyone sees. And so we're not trying to blend or make the back end of the tooth match so well. Taking a little bit of plaque away and making sure that everything is nice and clean before we bond the tooth in place. And we will go ahead and make that preparation. And you can see that everything's above the gum line so that there's no problem with the bonding. And it was completely dry. Here it is in place, bonded together, and you can see that it matches the front tooth. And if you're looking at the root of the tooth, yes, I could have complained and say, well, it's a little more yellow, but the patient doesn't show that in their smile.